So as you guys might know, or maybe you don't, I don't know, but our like big videos come out on Fridays, right? Usually showing the projects we're working on and whatnot. And then Tuesday, which is what this guy is things we screwed up during that making the big video because that happens, right? Things that went wrong, lessons we learned, and sometimes just things that we're thinking about. And that's what this one's all about. Because working on this guy, got a little nostalgic and started asking some questions of myself, and I figured you guys might want to answer them. So, here's your Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. All right, so you guys probably already know this, but in case you don't, behind me is my 1977 Pontiac Le Mans. Car that means a lot to me, and it's, dare I say, like manufactured sentimental value, because other than becoming friends with the guy Barry that I bought this thing from, there's no sentimental value to this car that sits behind me. But one just like it was a 77 Le Mans Sport Coupe that my grandfather had and my father found for him. Then when my grandfather passed away, it was left to my mom and was eventually supposed to come to me, but some faulty maintenance, not by anybody, my dad, nothing like that. Some guy who let work on the car. Things went wrong. Front left wheel came off the car, and she was no good no more. We ended up having to let her go down the road, and the car meant a lot to us, so I personally wanted to find one. I love Pontiacs. I love this body style, and of course, just brings back memories right around my grandfather, being a kid and all that kind of stuff. So, that being said, while I'm working on this thing, which before you guys mentioned, I know the taillights here, that's a Grand Le Mans. Same with the hood ornament. I got it. My grandfather's was a sport coupe with the opera back window and everything the way this car is optioned. So, like I said, his car was a very weirdly optioned car, and we're going to make this the exact same thing. So that's where that is. Figured I'd put that out there before. That's not Le Mans, it's a Grand Le Mans, because I've been hearing it, and that's just what it is. So now that I got that off my chest. You start working on stuff and you feel nostalgic about it. You're like, oh, I remember doing this or that or whatever the case may be. But there's always that car, right? There's always that car, that event, that something that just sticks out in your brain. And for guys like me, it's always a car, right? Some guys might have, their favorite pair of sneakers or t-shirt or, I don't know, whatever. People collect everything, so no judgment here. I mean, look, you guys see right here. You look around the shop, there's stuff all over the walls, and all of it has some kind of meaning to me, right? One thing in particular, and I pointed this out before, is this picture right here, 67 GTO. Now, my dad bought me that picture. He actually bought it for my brother Anthony, and I kind of stole it, but we shared a room, so who cares, right? First car show we ever went to, he picked that up. He loved that car, and we had to hang in the room. And I told him, when he came down, I said, that picture right there caused all this. So, you never know what it's going to take. But, holy shit, is it raining? Hold on a second. Kind of hard to record because we're in a steel building, pole barn, whatever you want to call it. And she coming down out there, guys. Craziest weather this whole last couple weeks. But they say we need the rain. So here you go, here's the rain. All right, guys, that storm yesterday got a little bit crazy, so we had to, and we're gonna take another stab. We're gonna get it between storms because it keeps going. We'll see how this works. We're gonna hope for the best. Where were we? That's right. I was telling you a story about how this car and this picture on the wall over here got me nostalgic. And the story I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with either one of those. And you're not even surprised. And it's not because, I had a whole day to think about it. It's because that's where I was going anyways. Come on, what are you new? So the story is, well, the question, it's actually a question, which leads into a story. But what got you started? Like, what event, what experience, what happened to you that you thought this was your decision is to scour the earth for buckets sitting in fields and people's garages and backyards and whatever, and take somebody else's junk and turn it into the coolest thing in the parking lot? Like, what made you think this was a good idea? Because it's what we're all doing at the end of the day. So you probably there had to be something, right? Everybody's got, the first car show they went to, the first whatever, right? So that's why I thought that picture was from the first car show I went to. But it was before that I kind of got bit by the bug, And I kind of touched on this about 6 months ago in a tech tip. And I wanted to expound upon it because I think it's important, and it really needs to be told for a couple of reasons. One, it's cool to learn where everybody comes from, But about a year ago, I did a tech tip where I told you guys about my Uncle Buddy. And, he's an Army vet, retired New York City cop, and now he's an author, right? So he's accomplished a lot. And that inspired me. And then some of the advice he gave me inspired me. And I thought he knew that, but he didn't until I did the video. And I was like, wow, I'm really glad I did the video. But it got me thinking about other stuff. So the story I'm about to tell you, I got a feeling that guy doesn't know that he inspired me as well. So I figured I'd let him know. And so that guy is my cousin Sal. He's actually my dad's cousin, so he's a little older than me, but doesn't make him any less cool. Promise you. All right? So I was about 6 or 7 years old. And we lived out on Long Island, and my father was taking me over to Sal's shop. He had a hot rod shop in Brooklyn. So we go over there, and I remember like yesterday pulling up to the store, pulling up to the shop, I can see it. I close my eyes, I can see the place, right? And it was cool. It was just cool. It was like, I don't know. And I'm sure this whole experience was just cool because I was out with my dad, right? And we're doing grown people stuff, right? Here comes the rain again, guys. We're gonna try and push through, all right? But so we go over there and we walk in, and it's just an old school hot rod shop, right? There's cars everywhere. There's it was a '69 Charger, which I knew was cool because it was the '80s, and we were all watching the Dukes of Hazzard, so obviously that was cool. And then he had a little Mini, like an old school Mini. He had, I want to say it was a vet. I don't know what year vet, if it was it might have been like a 60s or early 70s. A lot of cool little cars. A couple hot rods, but the one it was like bling, I saw, right, was his Model A. And I was like, wow. It was a quintessential hot rod, guys. And chop, 5-window, Kragers on it, big block, 4-speed, side pipes. It don't get no cooler than that, right? And I'm like, wow, this thing, I'm 6, 7 years old, right? Something like that. And I don't know, I probably wouldn't even know, probably like 5 or 6, really. But I'm looking at this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm looking at. I just know it's the coolest thing I've ever seen, right? That's all I know. And look to it, all of his cars were the same color blue. He's got a style, all right? But so it's blue, like this true blue metallic. And then I look inside the car, and it was like the most, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a dark blue, like maybe velour or suede or something. It was like, I don't know. It looked like it looked like a cave, guys, like a bat cave or something. It was just like cool and mysterious, but looked comfortable. I mean, I don't. It was just like wow. And so Sal at the time he had a monkey, like a pet monkey. First off, who else in Brooklyn had a pet monkey? I mean, it was the '80s, so we did crazy stuff. You know, BJ and the Bear was a big thing. And I don't know if that's where he got the inspiration, but so when I was a kid, we go to Sal's, I wanted to see Dino. Dino, I mean, where else you get to see a monkey outside the zoo, right? So from what I remember, he had a little bit of an attitude problem, but he was still pretty dope.
Right turn, Clyde.
You know, well, from the rearview mirror was a like a stuffed monkey hanging. I'm like, Dino, oh, that's awesome, you know. I remember the windows were like, mail slots, and it was all these little things that I saw in this car, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And what's funny about it is not too long after that, I watched American Graffiti, which is my favorite movie, and probably a lot of you guys too. But I'm watching a movie, Milner shows up in the 5 window, and I'm like, yo, Dad, look, that's Sal's car. That's like Sal's car. That's all I kept saying. Everybody else would see like a hot rod, like, oh, that's like Milner's car, right? Not me, because I saw Sal's car first. So I was like, that's like Sal's car. And it's funny, I keep looking off to the side over here, and I actually have a 5 window picture up here. So and it's fun, it's one of those. And then I come to find out more about the car, right? Between talking with Sal, and obviously I've known him my whole life. And my dad telling me stories, and my uncle telling me stories, and from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he found that car in a field when he was like 16 up in Pennsylvania, I think, and he molded that into his vision, like what he wanted to do, And what he would do is every couple of years he'd change the lights or he'd change the stance, or whatever. Because it was like his rolling business card, Because like I said, he had a shop and he was like building it, he had to keep up with the times and what was cool, and like, hey, here's my badass car. Let me build your badass car, right? Kind of, and that just makes sense, right? It's free advertising. Well, guys, it's far from free. Any of us that are messing with hot rods know it's not free, but it is advertisement. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And like I said, over the years, we always talked about cars, whenever we were all together and stuff. And it was just like, guys, I can't, anybody that knows me, and we sat around drinking beers or something talking about cars, I've mentioned this car. I've mentioned this experience going to his shop and seeing that car. And it's just, look what it did. I mean, I've had over 100 cars, no question. All different types, makes, models, styles, whatever. And it was always kind of keeping like, oh, this is what's hot now. And I haven't really done that in a few years. I kind of stopped changing. I'm kind of stuck in my ways at this point. When I was younger, though, right? That's what we did. And it's like, it all stemmed from that one time my dad took me to his shop. And he still got the car. He still got the car. And a couple years ago, he started, took it. It was in storage, I guess, and he kind of took it out, started doing some things. And he's got a good way along on it. It's I think it's some primer, and he's got a small block in it now, and he's gone over everything. And it's just what he did. Everything was, I mean, like detail oriented, guys. I'll tell you. So it's just cool to think, But here's something they don't tell you. All you see, like all these movies, right? American Graffiti is one of them. 2-lane blacktop, all that kind of stuff. 2-lane blacktop, they kind of do show a little bit of it. But this guy's got the baddest car out there, and I mean, just check him out, right? He's just too cool. They don't show you the hours and hours of agony that are put into these cars, and that all you cannot. You're not just going to get it and go wherever you want. You're going to have even after you build it, even if you do the best build in the world, maintenance is more than if you go out and buy like a new Camry or something like that, right? So this is where people get, a lot of people lose it there. Like, because when they start to realize it, they're like, I'll just go out and buy a new Challenger. It's just as cool. No, it's not.
Okay, it's not. You know, you're not a hot rodder in my eyes anyway. And if that upsets you, I'm sorry, not sorry, because it's just not. That's not what's up. So I just thought it was important to tell that story because everybody comes from somewhere. Now you guys know where I come from, and what got me on this ridiculous journey that I thought all this was a good idea. And a couple things to remember, though, guys. Number one is if you want to have the coolest car in the parking lot, you better be able to, be ready to put in some work. And Sal, first, I hope you're not mad I took all your pictures. And you're still inspiring people, man. I want to make sure you know that, especially if you don't believe that, check this guy out. Thanks for watching, guys.